Good afternoon, everyone. My Kabbalah name is Judith. Kabbalah means to receive. It comes from a Hebrew word that is lekabel, that means to receive. Everyone wants to receive something in life or many things in life. And we actually ask, why don't we get what we are willing to receive? Why do we have issues in making our dreams come true? It's as if, okay, everything comes from the light, so the light is up there and we are down here. And what is it between the light and us that doesn't allow us to receive things? Kabbalah tells a story about the Big Bang. What is that? What was there before the Big Bang? According to Kabbalah, before the Big Bang, all there was light. And the energy of the light, the DNA of the light, is to give. But what happens if we want to share, if we want to give, if we don't have someone to share with? So, the light created a vessel. The energy of the vessel, the original vessel, was to receive. And the energy of the light was to give. It seems a perfect combination, isn't it? So it's as if every desire, every wish that the vessel had, the light was there to make it true, to make it happen. But who created the vessel? The light. So the vessel has the DNA of the light. And one day the vessel said, okay, I want to receive, but I also want to make an effort to receive. I don't want to get things without making an effort. And according to Kabbalah, that was when we had the Big Bang, the explosion. And from there on, our reality was created. So, what is our purpose in this world? Is to make an effort to receive what we already had before, but we had it without, we took it for granted. We didn't make an effort to get it. And this is called in Kabbalah the bread of shame. So the bread of shame is when we get things without making an effort. So I can either get things without making an effort, or I can give. I can share too much, and the vessel that I'm giving to doesn't make an effort to receive. We can see this very often in, let's make an example, mother and kid relationship. When the kid asks for something and the mother just gives it everything that the kid wants, without the kid making an effort to get it. So this is called the bread of shame. According to Kabbalah, we are here to remove this bread of shame. Here there is a picture about the tree of life. So everything comes from a sephirah that is called Keter. And our reality is down there, number 10, called Malhut. So we have the light coming through Keter and passing through all these levels of energy until it reaches Malhut. And there is a famous word in Kabbalah called tikkun. What is tikkun? Tikkun is our homework. Tikkun is our correction, is what we came to do in this lifetime, our purpose, our piece of removing this bread of shame that we had down there when all that existed was the light and the vessel. And in Kabbalah, we have a different calendar that is not the Gregorian calendar. And in this calendar, we have 6,000 years to remove this bread of shame. And we are now on the year of 5776. If we compare, make an analogy to our life, it's like a marathon, and we are getting to the end of this marathon. And we can see this around us, that things are speeding up. So we are here, all these generations that came before us, to correct this bread of shame that started with Adam and Eve. I know it's not the purpose of the lecture, and this can be a whole new lecture about removing this bread of shame and whatever happened there between Adam and Eve. And according to my Kabbalah teacher, Rav Berg, the generation that we are now, we are correcting the part of the body of Adam that corresponds to the heel. So it's as if we are cleaning a floor, and we are just these, these little pieces of dust that remains on the floor. That's what we are correcting right now. And everyone has this tikkun, this correction, that is like a Russian doll. We have a correction that is our personal correction, through our sign, through our frailties. We also have this correction that shows up in our family, in our city, in our state, in our country, and the time that we are living right now. And something very interesting that I had to merit to learn was Kabbalistic astrology. Kabbalistic astrology helps us to understand this bread of shame and helps us to remove this bread of shame and to make our correction in this lifetime. Many times people come to me and ask, what's the main difference between Kabbalistic astrology and the, let's say, regular astrology? Okay, Kabbalistic astrology, there's no excuse. Oh, because my moon in this sign, or because my sign, or because I have this and this aspect, and Kabbalistic astrology says, excuse my English, bullshit. There's not such a thing as a bad chart. Because the time that we were born is the perfect time, and this moment holds the key that is the intersection between our previous lifetimes and the challenges that we hold in this life. So we have a book that is like our Bible, that is the Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation. And the first astrologer that we have, Kabbalistic astrologer, was Abraham. Okay, then Abraham was there in his tent, and Abraham was studying his chart, and he knew he couldn't have a baby. And then God came to Abraham and said, okay, can you go outside your tent? Can you count how many stars do we have outside? And Abraham said, no. So God then turns to Abraham and said, okay, so that's the number of kids of your generation. And Abraham said, how come? And then it's as if God just moved the stars. And we have many interpretations for that, but one of them is that we came here to go outside of our nature, to change our frailties, to go beyond our negativity, so we can make everything happen. So our purpose is to go beyond the limitations of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And also the Kabbalistic chart can give us tools that can empower us to go beyond this negativity. In the Kabbalistic chart, we have some main pillars, as we call. They are 4 pillars, and they are determined by the moment we are born. We have here a website that I'm going to use an example of a chart to demonstrate to you that everyone can open and go and check what is your personal portion. And I know this can sound very crazy because who among you knows Hebrew? No, I don't either. I'm learning. And the first time I was told that, in these old texts, you can study everything. You can study medicine. And as a dentist, I was thinking, oh, really? So where is it? Why don't you give a course about it? And one day, as I came across my Zohar, And I opened among 23 books, one book randomly, and I just scanned the Hebrew letters, and I saw the translation in English and was explaining everything about the good cholesterol, bad cholesterol, and many things about medicine. So it's as if the book has given me a reply. Do you know where medicine is? There you are. And our egos, like the part of us that means wants to understand everything with logic, doesn't understand that. But our eyes are the windows of our soul. So I tell the students and clients, by looking at your personal portion, you can draw the energy that you need to overcome anything. So, if you have an issue within your personal life, finance, business, if you have a doubt, a question, an issue, or simply everything is going completely perfect in your life, by scanning these letters, we can draw the energy that we need to overcome and also to create this protection of this field of protection around us. We also have a chart that is a table that is the 72 names of God. Who here is familiar with this chart of, have you ever heard about the 72 names of God? Okay, cool. So, this chart came from the 3 verses that Moses said when he was splitting the Red Sea. And when Moses was in front of the sea and behind him a lot of Egyptians, Moses just turned to God and said, God, please help me. And God just said, why are you calling me? Just go through it. And through the combination of these 3 verses, this table was created. I'm always also going to present this table to you. And according to the day of our birth, everybody has a sequence that is your personal 72 names of God. We can also use the whole chart for whatever we need. I tell the students and clients that this is the company of God, and we have 72 extensions. So I can call like the happiness extension, the sweeting judgment extension, and I don't ask you to believe me, I just ask you to use and see the results in your life. So, what are the main pillars of a Kabbalistic chart? We have the sun, or the sign of the person. Some people can have a different sign in Kabbalah. So this site, hebcal.com, hebcal.com, can help us to identify what is our sign in Kabbalah. Generally, you either have the same sign or you can have a sign that is the month before or the month after, depending the year that you were born. And we also have the rising, the moon, that is our ego. You know those cartoons that we have the 2 little voices? One voice then sometimes makes us feel very high and good, and sometimes just take us very down. This is known in Kabbalah by the ego, or the opponent, or Satan. And the tikkun. The tikkun has also 2 other names: the north node of the moon, or the head of the dragon. So here we have an example of a chart. This chart I've done like a few weeks ago. And we have here this person was born under the sign of Cancer. The rise is in Leo, the moon is Virgo, and the north node is in Aries. So this person came here to correct the negative traits of Cancer and to also observe the sun sign that this person had in the previous lifetime. And how do we know what was the sign that this person had in the previous lifetime? The sign of the person in the previous lifetime is opposite to the tikkun. So this is the tikkun. It looks like a headphone. It's as if the universe is telling us, what should you listen to? What should you pay attention to? And exactly opposite to our tikkun, we have the sign of the previous lifetime, that in this case, the person was a Libra. So we came to correct the negative side, the negative traits of our sign, and also to observe, do I still have any characteristic of the sign that I had in the previous lifetime? And then I go to this Hebrew calendar and check, put the date that the person was born, 1st of July, 1968. And it turns out that this person is also a Cancerian in the Kabbalistic astrology. So the Kabbalistic birthday of this person is the 5th of Tammuz of 5777. So this person is also a Cancerian under the Kabbalistic astrology. And here we can also change the date because 1968 corresponds to 5728, and now in this calendar we are entering the year of 5777. So I can also calculate what is going to be this person's Kabbalistic birthday, and you can also calculate your own Kabbalistic birthday. What is it important to know the Kabbalistic birthday? Because according to Kabbalah, on this day, all of your energy will be restored for the next 365 days. Guess what? Kabbalah doesn't believe in, how do we say in English, it's like our, a month before our birthdays, like our hell, or, when things don't go well, because I'm just in my astral hell, something like this. Kabbalah says, this doesn't exist, but what happens? If in your Kabbalistic birthday, your energy is going to be restored, a month before that, your energy is very low. So it's a time for you to not to play so hard on yourself. If you have to start big projects, things that will need a lot of energy, it's better to start after your Kabbalistic birthday. Some years, your Kabbalistic birthday can be exactly the day that you were born, or can be about a month before, a month after. And then here, we have this, the 1st of July, 1968, so correspond to the 5th of Tammuz, that is Cancer, Cancerian in Hebrew, of 5728. And here we have Parashat Hukat. This Parashat Hukat corresponds to the 5 books of Moses in the Old Testament. So is this portion that will give this person the energy that is needed to overcome anything that is negative in this person's chart. So the homework is to scan a part of this text, can be a minute before you go to bed, in order to restore your energy. And here we have a part of it. All we have to do is to look from the right to the left. So it's the opposite from English. Oh, but I don't understand Hebrew. Don't worry. Just scan, and before you scan or while you are scanning, you can think of an area of your life that you need clarity, or when everything is amazing, just to create this protection shield. And how do I discover what is the person's personal 72 names of God? We have an app that is called 72 Names of God. So you just enter the date of birth, and then we have the result. In this case, the personal 72 names of God is dialing God, number 19. And the letters are Lamed Vav Vav. And these personal 72 names of God is as if the universe has given us one tip of our correction. What do we need to pay attention to? And in this case, is this name dialing God? It's as if the person has a connection with God. So we have, in the meditation, use this name. I can activate direct dial to God. I take in the name I dial, I connect, my truest prayers are answered at the speed of the light. And everyone has a personal 72 names of God that can be calculated using this app. And here we have the whole chart. So again, we go from the right to the left, and each sequence represents an extension from the God's company. Just a review, the main pillars are the sun, the rise, the moon, and the tikkun. In that case, the person is a Cancerian. So Cancerians, they have a lot of issues regard emotions. I remember my Kabbalistic teacher, Yael Erdeni, that she would say, Cancerians are the most expensive maintenance of the zodiac. Because they want to love, and they want care, and they want to love, they want care. And of course, our role is not to be like patching the person's ego, okay? And the rising of this person is Leo, so the rising or the ascendant in the Kabbalistic chart gives us the tip of what should I do? I should listen to the positive signs of Leo, in this case, to take responsibility, not to stay like a crab inside the shell. I'm not going to say anything. And the moon is like the little voice that sometimes comes and tells us you are amazing, and other times just comes and say, oh, you are horrible. In this case, the moon of Virgo gives us an alternative to always be criticizing, or if I don't go there and do something, it's not going to be done properly. And the tikkun of this person is in Aries. Aries has this positive thing of life, energy, optimistic thing. And the sign that this person had in the previous lifetime was Libra. So what is the main thing that this person came to correct? This person came to make decisions, to overcome insecurity. And it's very amazing because I came to do this chart, and this woman, she was rejected by her biological family. So it's as if the cosmos or our parents, they just take us to our correction. Oh, how come I was abandoned by my biological parents? Because if I wasn't abandoned, maybe I would still be dependent on them, and I would not make decisions. And in this case, this person cannot measure his or her happiness or sadness based on the people around them. And the North Node and the South Node will give us tips about the old previous lifetimes. That in this case, this person has developed a great need for people. And imagine, to start the life, the great need of the biological mother was not there. So it's a way of really doing our correction. And in this case, it's also recommended to always broaden the interest, to travel, and to broaden the perspectives. According to an amazing Kabbalist called Rav Ashlag, 99% of our spiritual work in this lifetime is to look at our negativity, is to look at our ego. And every time that I can identify my negativity, that I can identify my ego, is also because I can change it. And I think we are running out of time. I just would like to finish. Do I have like 2 minutes just to give a preview, a meditation, 1 minute? Okay. And I'm also going to show my email address in case you have any questions afterwards. So I'd like everyone to just uncross your arms and your legs. We are going to do a meditation called Anabekoa that help us to overcome any frailties and to raise above our physicality and our chaos. Anabekoa gedula temineha tati tserura. Kaberina tameha savenu taharenu noram. Nagibo doshe yehudeha kevavashomnem. Bahem tahare rahamet kadeha tamid gomlem. Hasim kadosh bero tufan ahel teha. Yahid gehe lemha pene zoheka dushateha. Shavatenu kabel ushmat sagatenu yodea talmud. Thank you very much. And there's my email address. My website, sorry. Thank you.